A very good evening. Welcome to the UBC News Tonight. My name is Wadulo Arnold Mark, and this is the 8 o'clock edition of the UBC News Tonight. Dorothy Namuyomba is on sign language. And without further ado, let's get straight into the bulletin. In our first story tonight, the East African community, in collaboration with the International Organization for Migration, has held the first ever regional consultative process on migration. This landmark meeting brought together ministers and senior government officials to foster cooperation and share information on managing migration across the region. We have a detailed report.
The first regional consultative process on migration was attended by ministers and senior government officials from Burundi, the Democratic Republic of Congo, Kenya, Rwanda, Somalia, South Sudan and Uganda. The meeting focused on identifying joint strategies to promote cooperation in managing migration. Topics included labor mobility, border management, climate-induced displacement, and combating human trafficking.
Issues of immigration have been a challenge. Generally, we have been handling them bilaterally, but I think it's important that we sit together and chart out a common strategy. So I expect that this meeting will lay the foundation for a very, very fruitful partnership, and also it will enable us to identify the challenges and deal with them. And I'm sure this meeting will give us an opportunity to compare notes and deal with all the issues that arise around immigration. Maybe the other area which is still deficient is the labor migration. Although we have the Common Market Protocol, but one of the areas that's not moving as well as it should is on labor. So I hope that we can find common ground to support the young people of this continent.
Delegates emphasized the importance of fostering a regional approach, citing the shared challenges and opportunities within the East African community. The consultative process also underlines the critical role migration plays in development and regional integration.
The draft EAC RCP's action plan. B. Recommend partner states to establish national consultative process and national technical working group for relevant thematic areas to facilitate implementation of the EAC RCPs. C. Direct EAC Secretariat in collaboration with partner states to constitute a regional technical working group for relevant thematic areas to facilitate implementation of the EAC regional consultative process on migration.
The outcomes of this process are expected to strengthen policies, enhance partnerships, and ensure the region is better equipped to address the dynamics of migration effectively.
We really need to control. When we are talking about control of the migration, is that criminals are there. Some people are trading on human being, taking people to Europe, to South Sudan, or to anywhere. You see, people leave from here, South Sudan, they go to Raja, from Raja to Darfur, and Darfur to Libya. All right? And some people are trading on narcotics, drugs and narcotics, and all these kind of things.
Mary Namkose, UBC News.
Kampala International University, KIU, has held its 30th graduation ceremony, marking a significant milestone in the development of science studies in the country. The ceremony, which took place at the university's main campus, saw a total of 2,276 students graduate with PhDs, degrees, diplomas and certificates in various fields. The Minister of ICT and National Guidance, Dr. Chris Baryomunsi, presided over the event and urged graduates to effectively embrace technology. Let's take a look at the details.
Kampala International University, KIU, has graduated 2,276 graduates with PhDs, degrees, diplomas and certificates in various academic fields at the 30th graduation ceremony.
I confer upon all those persons whose names have been read the respective master's degrees of Kampala International University.
The Chancellor of the University, Professor Yunus Mugaya, extended gratitude to the academic staff for producing quality graduates and urged them to effectively utilize skills acquired.
Do not despair if you do not secure a job immediately. Work hard to demonstrate your relevance as you seek meaningful employment. Prepare yourself to learn new skills, improve your work ethic, and collaborate effectively with others, while also sharpening your attitude towards life.
The Chief Guest ICT and National Guidance Minister, Dr. Chris Baryomunsi, appreciated the university for embracing technology and urged the graduates to be innovative and creative with the evolving technology.
Your future is in your hands. KIU has given you the knowledge, has given you the academic qualification, how you use it, where you take it, how you shape your future. What you will become 10 years, 20 years from now is in your hands. To invest in the young population in order to harness this demographic dividend and turn the huge population of young people into an asset for the country instead of leaving it to be a burden for the country.
The proprietor of the university, Alhaj Basajabalava, saluted the lecturers for training scientists while urging the graduates to write and apply for international grants for further education.
I salute you people who are training our medical doctors, and well done. We need to focus at both quality training and quality research globally, such that we are not, nobody is doing this or that or the other. But
the 30th graduation ceremony of Kampala International University marks a significant achievement for the university, which has established itself as a leading center of science studies in Uganda.
And I'm so happy that I'm here today on this ground and finally graduating after the 4 years of law school.
It's determination, it needs focus, it needs time.
Cayenne Faith for UBC.
Sounds of Kadodi at the KIU graduation. Ugandan farmers in Impigi district have been trained on modern livestock farming technologies to ensure consistent animal feed supply and increased income, even during the challenging dry seasons. This program, initiated by College of Veterinary Medicine, Animal Resources and Biosecurity under the Department of Veterinary Pharmacy, Clinical and Cooperative Medicine, Makerere University.
Farmers at Mitala Maria Parish in Buwama, Mpigi district were introduced to modern farming techniques, focusing on the production and storage of animal feed. The training was conducted by experts from the Makerere University College of Veterinary Medicine, Animal Resources and Biosecurity. Dr. Dorothy Nambaziro and Dr. Herbert Muchivi spearheaded the program. They emphasized the benefits of preparing and storing feed to ensure consistent fodder supply during dry seasons.
The question we are answering here is, how do we feed livestock in the face of climate change? There is a project, the project that we are dealing with Makerere University is climate smart agriculture. We are building capacity for enhancing innovation in climate smart agriculture. In our case, we are looking for innovations that can sustain feed production.
Looking at people actually harvesting a lot during the wet seasons, and then they have scarcity of grasses during the dry season. We are now telling farmers you can cultivate a lot of pastures during the wet season, preserve it, and then you are able to feed during the dry season. There have been oscillations in animal production.
Modern techniques allow farmers to maintain consistent livestock feeding rates throughout the year. This strategy can significantly boost milk and meat production, increasing farmers' incomes, even in periods typically marked by scarcity.
During the rainy season, we have a lot of pastures. And when the pastures are there, when the rain is there, the pastures are there, the livestock can eat and get satisfied and get enough milk. But in the drought season, we do not have feed.
An acre of maize, you can harvest 8 tons of silage out of that. So you need 8 liters, that is 80,000, and it will save you a lot of money that would have put in if you are using the conventional method.
Dr. Muchibi explained that the stored feeds ensure animals receive all the necessary nutrients, leading to healthier growth and higher productivity.
That money comes in during the wet season. When you approach the dry season, you will cease to get the money because there is no milk, you don't have food. But if you are preserved, it remains constant.
The program was launched in collaboration with Betala Maria Parish, integrating the church's role in community development. Dr. Vincent Mwanyaka highlighted the strategic decision to involve the church as it serves as a trusted community hub. The parish priest, sometime the monastery farm head, extended his gratitude to the experts for empowering the farmers through practical knowledge and tools.
The help of Makerere University with the modern technologies and the new skills, Betala Maria Parish and the parish owners at large are going to improve on their livelihood.
Jamil Sekaja compiled this story for UBC.
Deputy Inspector General of Government Anne Chomjisha has disclosed that district service commissions are some of the most corrupt departments of government of Uganda. She cited bribery during local government's recruitment processes where applicants are forced to pay their way to get jobs. This was during her visit to West Nile local governments of Arua, Maracha, Zombo, Nebi, Terego and Arua City.
Officers of district service commissions in Uganda have been identified as one of the most corrupt departments.
There is a problem. All over the country we have issues with the district service commission. Why do you sell jobs to your people? Why? Everyone must pay something to get a job. Really? What do you use that money for? You go home and comfortably sleep that you have solicited for a bribe and that your children will use that money to pay tuition.
According to Deputy Inspector General of Government Anne Chomjisha, behavior of staff in district service commissions have become nursery beds for corrupt officials, as those who buy jobs will also want to recover their monies by stealing from the public resources.
These are your brothers and sisters. When they purchase these jobs and they go to office, they have to look for money that they paid through the service delivery. And some of you have accused us for not acting, but we don't have evidence. You don't want to come up. Even the people who you ask money from protect you, they shield you.
Meanwhile, leaders of Arua City and Maracha district say some people use IGG's office to fight local politics when whistleblowers raise concerns.
Sometimes we feel your office is used to fight local politics. And I want you to take serious note of that. This Arua region has too much internal wrangles. Please don't allow your office of IGG to be used to fight local political wars, because it is going to curb service delivery. It is going to demoralize the staff.
The mayor, you said our people are involved in local politics, but also your officers do not support our efforts in the fight against corruption, because when we write requesting for information, it takes donkey years. You don't bring this information.
You see IGG is on ground. You see State House and corruption on ground. You also see the CID, the police CID section on ground investigating the same matter. But at the end of the day, you see a lot of confusion and they don't get any pertinent report.
Can you cite an example?
Yeah, of course, we had an allegation here about a city school, that is Kololo Public City Secondary School.
Many officials in Maracha now fear to be in a community for fear of being attacked by the people on allegations of corruption.
And Madam, I want to tell you, today, up to today, some of my technical team here cannot go to the community alone because of that bad name. Some of them were even about to be lynched, including ministry people.
The deputy IGG also visited health facilities and primary schools, where she evidently discovered absenteeism alongside allegations of extortion as other forms of corruption.
Those items which are
Where's
used
the money
at first.
they gave you?
Me, I didn't get money from anyone here.
There is also rampant theft of mosquito nets. While thanking staff of War Health Center 4 in Zombo district for being on duty, she discovered high teenage pregnancy. Ms. Chomugisa was disheartened by the big number of underage girls she found attending antenatal services at the facility.
So you have to go back to school. Have you heard? Okay, they have given you a number. If you want to go to school after you have given birth, call that number. That is universal primary education. So when you give birth and you want to go back to school, call that number. Okay?
She continually warned government workers against corruption. Joseph Fodama, UBC News.
After fleeing their homes in the Democratic Republic of Congo, many Congolese refugees in Ramwanja settlement, Kamwenge district, struggle to cope with their new environment, leading some to attempt suicide. However, this is a story of resilience and hope, focusing on the Congolese women who survived the suicide attempt and have since rebuilt their lives.
In the year 2021, a surge in suicide cases sent a shockwaves in Ramwanja refugee settlement in Kamwenge district, with a total number of 59 cases and 11 deaths. In 2022 alone, 41 cases were registered, with 12 deaths reported. Among those were children below the age of 15 years.
Sasa tulifika hapa maisha ikatupiga sasa.
So when we reached here, life mistreated us.
Tukakumbuka pia kwetu Kongo.
So we remembered what we left in Congo.
Tukasema kweli humu tutaweza humu, mbona humu?
We're going to manage life in humu.
Tuko na watoto lakini hali ya humu.
Suicide has been one of the growing challenges here in Ramwanja refugee settlement, and over the years, as TPO Uganda under the UNHCR funded project, we've been responding to suicide and leading in the suicide response and prevention in the settlement. So by doing that, we reach out to the communities, and we start with awareness creation, teaching the communities what are the warning signs.
The suicide case is said to have been due to the depression, trauma, and poverty, among others. In Kaihura D-Cell, Ramwanja refugee settlement, I encountered the Songa Mbere and Umoja Nguvu women's group who were struggling to cope with the trauma and depression resulting from the war.
Tufundisha gisi mtu anapasha sababu juu tulikuwa tunaanza juliza.
Because some of us could live well in our country, but when we were brought to Uganda, things were tough because we could sleep in bad houses, even we have small piece of land. So that life was confusing.
Male lead in attempts, and male the most of the death by suicide under male have domestic violence coming in as the second leading trigger for suicide. Most of the cases have domestic violence coming in behind there.
Despite the resilience and efforts to rebuild their lives, some members of the group had attempted to take their own lives to the devastating impact of war on mental health. TPO Uganda, with funding from United Nations High Commission for Refugees, to step in to provide mental health and psychosocial support to refugees in Ramwanja settlement in Kamwenge district.
TPO Uganda, with funding from UNHCR, has been helping displaced and stateless persons in Ramwanja refugee settlement through a project called Provision of Mental Health and Psychosocial Support Services. Under these services, TPO has been doing a number of interventions. Among them, we have an intervention which handles people's problems which originate from the thoughts.
Since 2021, TPO Uganda have reached over 12,000 refugees through a combination of group and individual-based interventions.
In 2021, we had a suicide surge in 2021, and that's when UNHCR brought us on board with their funding, which has really supported the people, and we try to mentor these people into that information. How do I identify? How do I, whom do I tell if I find such and such a person?
The Songa Mbere and Umoja Nguvu women groups in Ramwanja settlement, once struggling to cope with the trauma of war, have now found a path to healing and rebuilding their lives. Haruna Mtesasira, UBC News.
The Minister of State for Youth and Children, Balam Barugahara, has dismissed allegations of pressuring former National Unity Platform prisoners to plead guilty to charges of unlawful possession of arms and treachery in exchange for promises of money and houses. Speaking to the media in Kampala, Minister Balam described these claims as baseless and unfounded.
On Friday, 22nd November 2024, it was confirmed that His Excellency President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni had pardoned 19 National Unity Platform supporters who had spent close to 4 years behind bars.
And indeed, Honorable Senyonyi, wherever you are, the novice, so-called useful idiot, has delivered what you had failed to do.
The Youth and Children Affairs Minister, Balam Barugahara, has been at the forefront of ensuring these men and women receive a soft landing.
My elder brother, the CDF, my chairman, asking the CDF, many people have been going to the CDF, diplomats, CDF help these young people, they are part of your generation. So the CDF has been backing me at the back, giving me the moral support and also giving me the strategic guidance on how to have this matter concluded.
In fact, Balam reveals that now half of the remaining National Unity Platform prisoners have also decided to seek for pardon from government.
The 99 suspects who remained in jail, 6 of them have written a letter officially now through the Commissioner General of Prison, as it is the matter always, and copied their lawyer that they are willing to have a speedy trial and they are willing to plead guilty.
However, shortly after the Friday release from Kitalia and Luzira prisons, Olivia Rutaya informed his bosses from the National Unity Platform Party that it was out of coercion and persuasion that a section of them weighed in. This has been dusted by the Youth and Children Affairs Minister, Balam Barugahara.
And then they claim by one of these young men, one of these young women who claimed that they were given, that she was promised a house. Olivia Rutaya, who can give her a house? A house for what? She doesn't want to live in a house. Even when they released her yesterday, instead of going home, she first went to the beach to eat fish.
Balam also waters down Olivia's narrative of plans to abduct them outside the premises shortly after their release.
But why do you abduct somebody whom you have already pardoned? That is wrong. You see, that is no propaganda. How do you say that a drone was waiting for them at the gate? Can a boda run faster than a drone? You mean a boda can run faster than a gun? You mean the people in the drone cannot pick a boda and run after? And even they knew Olivia Rutaya was at Busabala. Couldn't they wait for her at Busabala beach? Is the Busabala Vatican that there is no access? Security can pick you even in the lake.
Balam notes that although it would have been his wish to have them rehabilitated from Chankwanzi, the choice remains in their hands since most of them have already reunited with their families. Robert Nyango, UBC News.
Uganda has experienced significant climate changes in the recent decades, characterized by an increase in extreme weather events such as floods, droughts, mudslides and landslides. This phenomenon has led to loss of lives and property and has highlighted the urgent need for sustainable environmental practices. Now, in response to these challenges, Nyabyeya Forestry College is playing a pivotal role in addressing climate change, going beyond traditional forestry management to become a leader in sustainable environmental practices. Let's have a look.
Forestry College in Masindi district is one of the few tertiary institutions offering forestry, agroforestry and beekeeping training at the technical level in Uganda.
This institution over the years has graduated 5,561 graduates.
The college, started by government instructors, which were left by the Polish refugees after World War II, currently engages students in hands-on projects aimed at reducing carbon emissions, protecting biodiversity, and building resilience against the impacts of climate change.
We produce seedlings. It's almost the biggest in the country, which is seedlings we sometimes give to the neighboring communities for free.
Every season, once we raise, they are the first ones we give seedlings because we want them to plant on their land such that they don't encroach on Budongo forest, which is at our periphery.
As part of its curriculum, students at Nyabeya Forestry College are directly involved in practical projects that focus on sustainable forestry practices and reforestation efforts in the region.
It helps in environmental protection in that when someone starts beekeeping, bees majorly depend on plants for the manufacture of their products. And this one encourages the farmer or the beekeeper to be able to conserve all those plants, both flowering and non-flowering plants. Also able to train students on how best we can use the waste to energy, so that if they use, for example, the waste for cooking, then the trees and the charcoal, the trees are saved. People are not producing the charcoal, or you're cutting down a lot of trees for cooking needs.
In addition to reforestation, the college is actively promoting innovative solutions for climate change.
The students also go with their teachers and install energy-saving stoves.
During the college's 57th graduation ceremony held in Masindi, 498 students graduated with diplomas and certificates in various fields.
Strive to uphold professionalism and ethical standards. 2. Become our stewards for sustainable management of natural resources in the country.
I'm being outside there trying to help people to plant trees and teach the people the importance of planting forests and the values of forest in our day-to-day life.
The graduates were asked to use the knowledge acquired to take the lead in the fight against climate change.
Tororo Municipality Mayor Orono Nyapidi has praised the government and the Microfinance Support Center for championing Islamic financing, highlighting its transformative potential for communities by fostering economic resilience and self-reliance. Echoing this sentiment, the Tororo District Kadi Koire Nur Abdul Marik described the initiative as a beacon of hope for underprivileged communities, enabling them to access essential financial resources that were previously out of reach.
The Microfinance Support Center has launched a groundbreaking sensitization campaign in Tororo District to introduce Islamic microfinance. This revolutionary model, based on Sharia law principles, offers interest-free financial services to empower communities. Simon Peter Ejurite, Microfinance Support Center Zonal Manager from Bale, explained that this initiative aims to promote equitable and sustainable economic growth, benefiting all communities regardless of their religious background.
As Microfinance Support Center and government as a whole, and our commitment is to make sure that we change these people totally. We work with active poor to make sure that they get away from that impoverished status to actually a status that we all have to celebrate.
The Mayor Tororo Municipality Orono Nyapidi commended the government and Microfinance Support Center for pioneering this approach, stating that it would liberate communities from the grip of exploitive moneylenders and pave the way for economic prosperity.
The door has been opened. Let's all buy the idea of having to get capital money, seed money in no interest, which is very key for any person who's business-minded. Normally hindrances come from the interest.
Tororo District Kadhi Koide Nur Abdul Marik welcomed this initiative as a crucial step towards enabling unprivileged communities to access financial services and achieve long-term growth.
I want to first of all congratulate His Excellency, the President of this nation, for bringing for us this Islamic banking system. We have a very big belief. It is going to be a reason for them to be rich, and I believe poverty is going to be eradicated in Tororo.
General Manager of the Nakasero Muslim Community Foundation Circle also praised the interest-free model for promoting ethical partnerships. He emphasized its significance for communities that have previously faced exclusion from conventional financial systems due to their religious beliefs.
With Islamic banking, things are going to change, because with farmers, you wait until you reap. The traders, we wait until we get profit. That means that the two parties will be involved and they will be concerned. Have we made profit? Why are we not making profit? What is putting us behind? Why are we not performing well? Then you sit and agree, because if there is no profit, the sharing will not be there, but it will be postponed. If the profit has reduced, it is not static. We have to re-agree again, because we are sharing from the profits.
Uganda Speaker of Parliament Anita Among has continued to spearhead sports with a call to the public to embrace it for health purposes. We have a detailed report.
From Monday till Friday, Parliament building is home to men and women who shape this nation's political, social and economic spheres. But despite their busy schedule, they, like most other Ugandans, spare time for exercise. That has this Saturday culminated with the launch of an athletes group codenamed Team Together. It has been launched by the Speaker of Parliament Anita Among, who has urged Ugandans to prioritize physical fitness to curb the rising cases of non-communicable diseases like diabetes. She emphasized that adopting a healthy lifestyle not only eases the strain on national resources, but also enhances productivity while fostering national transformation.
Happy birthday!
Okay. Team Together, that has been put together by the Principal Information Officer Charles Bukwa, also used this occasion to wish the Speaker a happy birthday.
And we shall count from...
Now, did you know that northern Uganda was once Uganda's food basket? This is a conversation we're going to be having after the break, and Business Roundup is going to be pushed to 9 p.m. In the studio with me, I'm going to be joined by Miss Judith Obina Okumu, the Private Secretary to the President in charge of political affairs. And this is a conversation you dare not to miss.
There is only one rule you must follow in order to be a winner. Number 1, defeat the undefeatable. You, step forward. I want you to box the air until it falls down. I'm not seeing it falling in. You see it falling in. Box, harder. Winning is hard, but with MTN Momo, it's easy. Simply pay or shop with Momo for a chance to win mobile money every day. Use the Momo app or dial *165*3#.
In the heart of Uganda, a financial revolution is happening. We were once left out, saving the old-fashioned way, with an unexpected saving spot, keeping it too close for comfort. But now, we found a better way to save and manage money. Download the Wendy app from Google Play or App Store or dial *229#. With Wendy, your money is safe and you can earn interest daily. Visit your Google Play or App Store or dial *229# to register. Wendy, Wanawoli.
Amazina ganje Inyetekwa Seruhanga John Bosco Ninduga mu district ya Rukunjiri byo muhanguzi wa miliyoni 16 na Uganda National Rotary nzahangwire urwo mu kuzana *278# ngafuna message eriko mu muhanguzi nashemererwa konka nabaza kugira ngo nedi y'abafere sente ziriyo zone bakaziteka nko nazihangwire
Ugandan National Lottery. Dream, play, win.
Participants must be 18 years or older. Play responsibly. The Uganda National Lottery is operated by Ituba Uganda and regulated by the National Lotteries and Gaming Regulatory Board.
Uncle Mo, asiri koja tukwasa. Vayo na wasajja batusonyiye. Chikakasi. Vayo.
Government has done it. Uganda Revenue Authority has taken you off the burden of paying interests and penalties. All you have to do is to pay your outstanding principal tax to benefit from the waiver of interests and penalties that runs till the end of December 2024. Call us on our toll-free line or email services@ura.go.ug.
Uganda Revenue Authority. Developing Uganda together.
To be a winner, you must have the discipline of a tiger. But when you are with MTN Momo, winning is easy. Simply get your phone and use the Momo app or dial *165*3#, enter merchant code, enter amount, enter your Momo PIN, and pay. Congratulations! Your car is happy, and now you stand a chance to win mobile money with MTN Momo.
The Homes and Construction Expo is back. Are you looking for answers to your property and real estate development questions? Come and interact with experts in the industry, including architects, engineers, developers, interior designers, financiers, and more from 30th November to 1st December 2024. The expo will be at the Millennium Park, opposite Philip Omondi Stadium, under the theme Affordable Housing, Innovations and Technology. There will be captivating exhibitions and insightful discussions daily. Entrance is only 10,000 shillings per day. To book a stall, contact 0772 354 940. The Homes and Construction Expo is brought to you by New Vision.
Welcome back. You're still watching the UBC News Tonight, broadcasting live from Nile Avenue. Now, before we left, I told you that the northern Uganda was once a food basket. Now, this region had fertile soils, arable rainfall, and mention it, everything that you need to create food. And what happened? But before we delve into that, allow me introduce my guest in studio today, Miss Judith Obina Okumo, the private secretary to the president in charge of political affairs. You're welcome, madam.
Thank you, and good evening, viewers.
Yeah. So, I want us to have this conversation, and we're going to be talking about the northern region primarily. Yeah. But let's start off with what we have at the front of us. We have the Marathon for Peace and Development that's about to happen in a few days to come.
Yes.
Would you break that down for us before we get into the flesh of the story?
Okay, thank you so much for the question. The Marathon for Peace and Development is going to be a run that is going to be in Gulu City on the 30th of November 2024. The reason for running for peace and development is because the northern Uganda, especially Acholi sub-region, has come a long way. The peace has great meaning to the people of Acholi. We haven't been having this peace for a very long time, and the government did so much to bring the peace back to the people. So we need to celebrate it in special ways. We need to embrace the peace. And that is the reason why we are going to have the Run for Peace and Development in Acholi.
So when we say northern Uganda, are we talking about the West Nile region, the Acholi region, the Karamoja region? Which regions are we talking about, or are we harnessing
northern Uganda. Now, when we are talking about the peace that came back into northern Uganda, it actually stretches further than northern Uganda. Why? Because you know the LRA war. It didn't only affect the people of Acholi sub-region. The LRA war affected right from eastern Uganda, the Teso region, coming down to the Lango region, and coming down to Acholi Ridge sub-region, and then going to the West Nile. So the whole of the stretch had that problem of Lord's Resistance Army. So when we're talking about peace and celebrating peace, we're not looking at only Acholi sub-region. We're looking at the northern region, and we go into the Teso region as well.
Okay.
Yeah, because you know how each region fought to bring sanity back after Kony attacked each area. In Teso, you know the story of the Arrow boys. Then in Lango, you know the story of the Amuka boys. Then you come in Acholi, we don't even want to say anything because that was the threshold of the whole thing.
Yes.
Then the West Nilers also suffered a lot because Kony could also come in from the Congo.
Okay.
So really, it's a story of the northern region, but it also cuts across to the eastern parts of Uganda.
Okay.
Yes.
So when we bring about this name, Kony, a lot of people hear different sentiments come to their minds, and you know, some of us were born in a time whereby these were just stories. We didn't actually get to feel the impact, or you know, of this war. You know, so I just want to ask, in northern Uganda, how bad did this war really devastate the north? Because we see that up to today, we grew up on the phrase, we shan't wait for the Karamojongs to develop. Would you decipher that statement for us? Now,
The Karamoja case may be a very different case because, of course, the LRA could not go there because they had their guns. But the LRA traversed the northern Uganda, like I said, from Teso up to West Nile. If you ever heard about the story of people being in the IDP camps, most of the areas in northern Uganda were concentrated by government in the IDP camps. Now, when you speak about the IDP camps, you, as you just said, you don't understand what that means. It means leaving your home, leaving your people, leaving your culture, leaving everything that you live for, that you stand for, and coming to live in congested places where you're put together so that you can be protected from the Lord's Resistance Army. And that was the best solution that the government of Uganda could do in that instance to protect the people of the northern region from LRA. It was not a very easy thing because people miss their homes, people miss their culture, like I've been telling you. It wasn't a very simple thing, and it was for several years. People could get food from a World Food Program. They could not till the land. So the meaning of peace to such a people is really something to celebrate and something to thank government for. And we must say this aloud. We must say this aloud. Thank you for what government did for the people of northern Uganda. And that is the reason why I'm here to speak about it today.
Yes. So you mentioned two things. You mentioned food coming in from the World Food Program, and you also mentioned IDP camps, and I'm thinking that is internally displaced people, persons camps.
Yeah, persons camps.
Okay. So, and I mentioned before that northern Uganda was once a food basket.
That's it.
So how did it happen to the point that, you know, people are not able to grow their food? Of course, I know insecurity was causing that, but how do you then get to the point whereby northern Uganda then loses its status to the point that we are now seeing people as prisoners, or can I say, I don't want to say prisoners, but they're internally displaced people within their own home?
Yeah, right now, people are back home, and the status quo is back to normal. But psychosocially, the people are not healed. So we need to reach the message of hard work to the communities. In the IDP camps, there was no gardens. You could not get space to do agriculture. But now it's the government brought the peace back. So the people have to learn to go back to hard work. These are some of the things that you see the President of the Republic of Uganda drumming in the ears of people through programs like the PDM, through programs like Emyoga, the wealth creation that has done literally very well right now. But this message needs to be put to the people in the right perspective, in the right ways, so that people can understand it and go and implement what the government is saying. And that is the much work that we have to do. Like in my position, I really have to go out to mobilize the people. That's why the president is always speaking about these programs. Now, we need to see action. We need to move away from thinking that we are still in the other situation of war. The war left, the war went, the government did its part. But now, it's our part to get the development into our coffers so that we can be able to have the money that we are talking about, the wealth, so that we also come into the money economy.
Okay.
According to the census report, of course, you know the northern region is the poorest right now.
Yeah.
But we don't want to accept this sitting down. We want to get up and go speak to our people. We want to interest our people in doing work. We have the land. The land cannot be bare. People have to know that whatever small piece of land you have, put it into action. Put it into seed, let the seedling go in the soil so that the markets can be able to get these products and you sell them and then you get money into your pockets.
Okay. So you mentioned a number of programs, the PDM, Emyoga, I'm not so sure. Wealth creation and then youth livelihood program. I don't know if
youth livelihood program or WEP for women.
And these are programs that are sometimes also where the local government districts have a hand in them.
Yes.
So what's their story? What do they say is hindering these projects from taking off?
First of all, you know, if you're going to sell a program to the people must, you yourself who's selling the program, you must know the program. So we must know the program for us to be able to tell the people. So the people have not yet got enough information, according to my judgment. And the people need to be reached out to. It's the reason we are coming out with things like the marathon. Because, I mean, if you bring it in an interesting way, and then you come and teach the population, then they are willing to learn. But if you just come and maybe make workshops that the president always criticizes, because really it doesn't bring so much, it's just a matter of allowances. But here you're going to mix with the people, and you're going to have a session for development where you're going to teach the people, where you're going to ask them the challenges, where you're going to share their plight. So I think we are going to understand the people better. Okay. I think the challenge is for us not to get to the ground and move to the people and share with them their challenges in accessing the programs. The programs are really quite good because these are visions that the President of the Republic of Uganda has come up with, and each one of them, if you see the people that he is talking about, some farmers and some groups have done very well. If we're talking about the issue of Kampala, the whole of Kampala, most of the youth have been skilled. The skilling has really gotten into the youth in Kampala. If you go to the statistics, you'll find that most of these projects are working well because the model is actually working. The Emyoga is actually working. But then for the people of northern Uganda, we have to further the message. We have to tell them how to access these facilities, these opportunities. They are out there. The president has come up with them and people need to take them on in the north.
So what I gather from you is that in northern Uganda, it's not just a message. It's not a message of reject that we've refused to take part in the project. They just do not know how to plug in. Is that right?
Some have plugged in, but others have not. So it's our responsibility as government to ensure that even the other part that has not plugged in comes and plugs in. That is when we shall be able to get what we are looking for. We are looking for the people of Uganda to come to the middle income economy. And that's what the president is always talking about, the money economy. We all have to join this money economy. And remember, all these programs are for the other side, the other part that actually are not in the money economy. So what do? We have to go and keep talking, keep giving information. I know right now the president is moving around and he's visiting real actual places, visiting real people, households, to see the impact of the PDM. It's worked well in some places, including northern Uganda. But we are saying, how about the others for which it has not worked? What do we do for them? Because they are also Ugandans who deserve to get a lot out of this program. And that's why the president came up with a vision.
Okay.
Yeah.
For the times I've visited northern Uganda, I've seen a number of non-government organizations and civil society organizations trying to, address some challenges that they're facing there.
Yeah.
But from government's perspective, how are you working with civil society and NGOs to ensure that, messages of like the PDM, the Emyoga are really, hitting the ground they should?
Okay, most of the NGOs come with their own agenda. They have their own programs. And government also has a parallel program in the way in which it's supposed to deliver these programs. So with the NGOs, they were very active during the time of the war. For example, the World Food Program, United Nations, they were there to serve the interests of the people. But now, when the government now has normalized the situation, normally the responsibility of doing things leaves the NGO world. They are left with doing some mobilization, but really the perspective of developing a people now remains with the government.
Yeah.
And that is why the vision is being pushed forward by the President of the Republic of Uganda, and you see he's in action. He's not a sitting president. He's a man who is a man of the people, and he will move to places to teach by himself about how you can be able to benefit in case you go and pick this support from government. So I don't want to say that NGOs are very active these days in northern Uganda. But I want to say government is doing more, but we accept that they are there and would like to work with them. We encourage them to come to give us the part that they are giving us as in supports for the communities, because we still have a lot of issues to deal with even after the war. So the NGOs come in that manner. Okay. But they cannot come to run our government programs for ourselves.
Okay.
We have to run the government programs ourselves.
That's true. So let's talk about the run that brought us to this very sensitive conversation.
Yeah.
When is the run and where will it start and who is expected to attend?
Now, the run is it's going to be a very interesting run. And hopefully you'll be there yourself.
I hope to be there.
Now, the run is going to start from Kaunda grounds in Gulu city. Have you ever been to Gulu city?
I've been to Gulu city.
You know it's the fastest growing city right now?
Yes, I've seen. I actually, the hotel, what's the hotel? Is it Boma?
The Boma Hotel,
yeah,
you've been there?
I've stayed in the Boma, and I must say, okay. Hillary, your name, yourself.
we want to appreciate the work he's doing there. So it will start with Kaunda grounds, and then we shall go around. We're giving 10 kilometers. And what are we doing? We are not discriminative, because we are bringing this through the Judith Obina Foundation, which I will later tell you how it came.
Yeah.
We are going to have a run for the men, where we are going to give the winners three medals, three winners, and then we are going to have the women, and then we are going to have the disabled people.
No cash prize?
There are cash prizes. There are lots of prizes, actually. We are going to cook for the people. They are going to enjoy. We have bouncing castle for the children, because we want to do a Christmas party for the children. We want the people to feel the peace. That's why we're doing all these things. I know the children of Gulu City. They have not had anything like face painting.